as true as it is that we're gonna bump our heads and make mistakes, and like that's true. But damn, am I slowing myself down even more than I already had planned to? Like, am I getting in my way even more than the barriers that God had already placed in my life? Because one thing we know that God is gonna put, barriers and lessons and trials and tribulations. All of those things are a part of your story. But sometimes I think we make our story a lot more difficult than it has to be because we aren't willing to do those little things like I just mentioned. Being punctual, being on time, doing the little things. And I think that goes back to the vision piece of it. How can you truly say that you have this vision for your life and these are the things you want to do and this is where you're headed and this is the things you want to accomplish and these are the things that you're going to accomplish when you're not willing to do the little things?
Where there's a will, there's a way.
Quite literally. Will Tidwell, a younger gentleman.
I wish I didn't have this big heart. People just do nothing but hurt me. Anybody can dream the dream. Anybody can have a goal, but see,
you're gonna be a neighborhood hero. You just keep shining, young king. What's going on, man? It's Will Z Tidwell, back with another video. This one is really just more of a late night talk with God, event session, a confessional. Just thinking, about my life. And when it comes to your life, have you ever caught yourself, whether it was out loud or talking to a friend or just in your head, just thinking about and asking yourself all of the hard questions about life? Because this description, that quote sits so heavy in my mind when it talks about a man that has no vision is a man that perishes. A man that has no direction in his life, a man that doesn't follow God in the path in which he set for him, where is that person headed? And a lot of times I ask myself that very question. Where am I going? What am I doing with my life? Am I making the right decisions? Is this path that I'm following, is this what God wanted for me, or is this what I wanted for me? Because the funny thing about it, and I'm not too prideful to admit this, is that a lot of times we make moves in our life and we do things in our life and we never even talk to God about it before we make the move. We never get any type of counsel about it. We never get any type of advice about it. We do it all off our own understanding and off our own faith in ourselves. And it's good to believe in yourself. But is that the move that God asked you to make? Is that the walk He planned for you? And because so often I just find myself, man, just questioning what I'm supposed to do next with my life. Questioning what's the end in this thing. Because I know I can't be the only person that gets frustrated with themselves when you know, like, you're gifted with something, like you've been blessed with something. You know God gave you something special, something that you feel like personally is supposed to impact millions. But I guess the real hard question that I ask myself daily, and I'm sure you ask yourself this too, is that are you okay still using that same gift that you believe is supposed to impact millions? Are you still okay using that same gift even if it only impacts a few? Because at the end of the day, you're still changing lives. You're still helping people. You're still walking in your calling. You're still walking in your purpose. You just might not get the fame and the notoriety and the money and the the recognition that some other people doing the exact same thing like you may be getting. And I think we just got to ask ourselves, are we okay with that? And I'm scared. I'm scared that my own laziness, my own lack of discipline, my lack of punctuality, my sometimes my lack of faith, sometimes my lack of obedience. I'm afraid that sometimes those things and things like that will get in my way. That it will keep me from being able to do everything he's called me to do. Like I sit there and wonder sometimes, it's like, damn, could I be further along in my life if I didn't get in my way? If I didn't keep stunting my own growth, if I didn't keep sabotaging my own blessings, if I didn't keep slowing myself down, right? Because as true as it is that we're gonna bump our heads and make mistakes, and like that's true. But damn, am I slowing myself down even more than I already had planned to? Like, am I getting in my way even more than the barriers that God had already placed in my life? Because one thing we know that God is gonna put, barriers and lessons and trials and tribulations. All of those things are a part of your story. But sometimes I think we make our story a lot more difficult than it has to be because we aren't willing to do those little things like I just mentioned. Being punctual, being on time, doing the little things. And I think that goes back to the vision piece of it. How can you truly say that you have this vision for your life and these are the things you want to do and this is where you're headed and this is the things you want to accomplish and these are the things that you're going to accomplish when you're not willing to do the little things? And I kind of go back to the business mind in me. You want to know how I can always tell when somebody is struggling with their marketing and their branding, their content creation, something that I feel like I'm one of the best at, humbly speaking. The reason I can always tell when somebody's struggling in that area and they don't truly understand their brand, they truly don't understand what they represent, they're not connecting with the audience, it's because they have no vision for the company. They don't even know what the company represents. They don't even envision what the company is going to do. They don't even understand the ins and outs of their brand completely. So when you don't even understand it and you don't even know where you're headed and you don't even know where you're going, how can you expect other people to do it? How can you expect other people to join your team or to support you or to be behind you or to build a family with you? Like it gets deeper. Like how can you expect to be all of these things and do all of these things when you haven't even taken the time to figure out what the vision is for your own life, or your own brand, or your own business, or whatever it is? And so I guess the whole point of this message is, what's your vision? What's your plan? Where are you headed? What are you doing? And then the second half of that question is, once you decide what that vision is, once you decide what it is that you're doing with your life, is it in accordance with the plan that God had for your life? If nothing else, did you talk to him before you made the move? Or did you just go and just assume that everything was going to be okay? Because I know that's something that I do quite often in my life. Something I'm trying to be better with, Because I know he gives me mercy. I know he gives me other next second chances. I know he puts me in positions to still win in my life. But I'm tired of making my life harder than what it has to be. I'm tired of having to get lost and get detoured and having to start over because I didn't slow down long enough to truly understand the vision for my life. I'm tired of having to go through that. I'm tired of having to bump my head and learn my lesson about the same old stuff. I'm tired of having to delay the blessings he has on my life and the way I know he wants to amplify and use my gift because I won't be obedient to him. It won't be easy. And that doesn't mean that I'm still not going to struggle. That doesn't mean that all of a sudden that everything that I struggle with and that I deal with and that makes me fall short, that I'm just going to overcome those things in one day. That's not what that means. But it means that I'm at least willing to acknowledge that I struggle in those things and then I'm willing to make the changes that it takes, or me willing to make the steps in the right direction to not be that person anymore. And I guess the real question is, are you? Is that something that we can do together? But ask yourself that again tonight as I sum up this message. Where are you headed? What do you want out of your life? Did you talk to God about it before you moved? And this is the part of the vision and the plan for your life that a lot of people don't talk about. Even when the plan and the vision may be God approved, even when the vision and the plan make perfect sense, even when you have no reason to believe that the plan and the vision won't work, are you willing to pivot and adjust when life throws you that curveball that you weren't expecting? Are you willing to still keep the same faith that you had when you first got the plan delivered to you and it was downloaded in your soul and your spirit when the plan was first given to you? Do you still have that same faith when things start to go left? Because I think if you can answer those questions for your life, then a lot of those same voices that's in your head and those same doubts and those same insecurities and those same wonders and those same worries, I think they start to leave, because there's a certain peace and a certain calmness and knowing that everything is going to be okay because I'm following his way. And the sad reality is that nobody really knows what the hell they're doing. If we being honest, nobody like you can be the smartest individual you want to be. You can be brilliant, right? But as many as people don't want to admit it, nobody really knows what they're doing. And a lot of times we're just figuring this thing out called life as we go. But what I'm learning is that even the people that are just figuring it out as they go and they've had mass success, they never stopped going, even when they didn't know what they were doing, didn't pan out, and they looked embarrassed and they failed and they had to start over, and they had to go back to God and repent and talk about where they made the mistakes and where they fell short. They weren't embarrassed about that. And I think that's the only way we can get to where we want to be in this life is if we're willing to do the same thing. So where you going? Where you headed? And what do you want from your life? Have you talked to God about it? Are you willing to pivot and make the change as things change in your life? Because if you are, then I think everything is gonna be just fine. Man, I love you. Um, I just want to let you know how much I love you. Um, this message was straight off the dome, straight from the heart. No messages, no scripture to base it off of, no quote to base it off of. Just my life and just my thoughts and just being able to walk with God at 12:30 at night. And I don't think there's a more beautiful piece than that. So that's all I got for y'all tonight, man. I just hope that spoke to your life. I hope it helped. I hope it made sense. Um, until tomorrow, man. This is day 11 of the daily devotion of me, you, and God. Where are we headed? Are we doing the right things? Are we making the right decisions? We probably aren't. Are we doing the things that are going to bring glory and shine a light on how good God has been to us? We don't always. But now that you know that, now that you're aware of those things, are we willing to make the change? Are we willing to do the little things? Are we willing to stop getting in our way and stop delaying the blessings that God has for our life? Because I think when we stop doing that, we can stop asking ourselves, are we doing the right things? Are we doing the things that glorify Him? Because we'll know it. The thing about it is, when you know you're doing something that glorifies Him, you can feel it. You can know that God is with you in that thing that you're doing. And again, I don't really care about fame and I love my followers. I love being able to share my gift with the world. I just want to be able to take care of my family. You know what I mean? And shit, if I can do that, excuse me, if I can do that, I still wake up every day and love what I do. There's no bigger blessing than that. And I think the fame and the notoriety and the awareness and the money and all that stuff that a lot of us care about, that a lot of us feel like equates to true happiness and life and success, that falls in place anyway. Let me just focus on doing the little things for now. And I'll end up exactly where I'm supposed to be. And you will too. Love y'all, man. And closing another episode of SpeakUPZee the podcast. Me, you, and God, daily devotion.
Hey, what's up? This is Will Z Tidwell with SpeakUPZee. And I just want to take a quick second just to thank you for tuning in to this latest episode of SpeakUPZee the podcast. And my only goal with this platform is to motivate you, inspire you, and educate you around all things life, business, and mental health, whether it's myself or me bringing on a special guest. So I just want to thank you guys for tuning in. We don't ask for any type of monetary gains or anything like that. The best thing you could do for us is just like and subscribe to the channel. Until next week, we'll see y'all later. Peace.